She's on.
She's on.
Should I wait then? It's up to you. Pardon? It's up to you. I'd like to call a meeting to order. First thing on the agenda.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a lot that want to come in, or how many?
Pardon?
Is there a lot more people that want to come in?
You all want to come in? You're fine, you sure? Yes, I do.
Okay, I have one board member just text us, he's gonna be about 5 minutes late. Said he's on his way, right? So I'm gonna do some of the public meeting first, and I will certainly get to you as soon as he gets here, okay?
Okay.
I'm assuming the issue. I would like a motion to approve the minutes of September 12th, our regular board meeting.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second for the September 12th regular board meeting. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We had a special board meeting on September 29th. I would like a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 29th meeting.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any questions on the September 29th board minutes? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We have the town clerk's monthly report to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the town clerk's monthly report. Good job.
I'll second that. It's larger than usual. Any questions, concerns about the town clerk's monthly report? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Okay, we have the contract for EMS of the coming year. It's pretty much the same contract we've always had. The only, is an increase in the money that the local taxpayers pay into that. The amount is $163,000. I believe the total budget is 600 and some thousand. Okay. This pretty much mirrors the previous contract, except for the amount of dollars that we taxed. It's on your tax bills in January. I'd like the motion to approve the contract as written with $163,000 payment that I believe is due by 1st of February.
I'd like to make a motion that we sign the contract with EMS, and if anybody's in doubt, we negotiated this, and we had an annual raise of a certain amount of money, which is reflected in the account raise thing. And that was a 3-year contract, and I approved it on the 2nd year.
Okay,
I'll sign.
thank you. Any questions on the contract, concerns? This large of an expenditure, we should have a roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Clark?
Aye.
Aye for myself, thank you. Passes. You have your JCO monthly report, activities.
Apologize for being late.
Yes.
This
What's that?
is the report.
Yes, from the EMS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I passed.
Yeah, but this is the contract, this is the report.
Okay, the monthly report,
Separate.
okay. The next page on your agenda is the monthly activities. The next thing is JCO outreach monthly report, just only for your information, no action needs to be taken. It's for the month of September, 99 households receive some type of services from local JCO. Okay. You have your code officer's monthly report for August and September. I read it over, it's quite extensive. That's strictly for information. This will affect several residents in the town of Champlain. It's the Clinton County Office of Emergency Services. They are, anybody that lives on Route 9 within the town of Champlain, that is from Shazy border, Shazy, town of Champlain, town line is, all the way through the village of Champlain. They're changing the numbering system of their houses. For instance, this property is 729 Route 9. It will become 10,729. There's confusion. Anybody here from live on Route 9 got this letter? Pardon?
The telephone company did.
Okay, because they're on Route 9 in Chanton Village. Okay. But it doesn't affect anybody that does not live on Route 9. Those that live on Route 9 will have 10 than their regular number of it. Okay. That's not something, it's just strictly for information. We had no choice to change it on this. Okay. I have a contract for the assessment services. This is the real property office. They do we contract with the county to do our assessments, real property assessments. We've been charged $13.50, I believe, per parcel. It's going up to $13.75. It's going up 25 cents per parcel for the year. That's, who needs to do that contract? Okay. Everybody got that?
I make a motion to approve the contract with the real property tax service in Clinton County.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any questions or concerns?
Other than we've gotten very good service from the office and very good service from Tim Sapinski, who provides the real property tax service to the town. It's been fantastic. Can't say enough. Great.
Can you make sure that Jane gets that? Thank you. Lake to lot passage. Pardon?
Motion and a second.
We did that?
Motion second.
I didn't ask for the vote. Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? That's good. Lake to lot passage. It's a service they're requesting $250 per year from us. It's nothing that we've contributed to before. I have no real desire to start that one, just strictly for information. Anybody's got any input, I certainly welcome that. Okay. I got a notice from Clinton County Board of Election. The general election is on November 7th, Tuesday. The voting for District 3, which is most of this end of the town, not Ross's Point. Now, Ross's Point is a different district. Machines are going to be ready on the 3rd and picked up on the 9th. Okay. And voting hours here at the town for those who live in this district will be from 9 a.m. It says 9:30. I thought it would be 9, but it says 9:30 here. That's terrific information. Those of you that live, I believe, west of the river, even some of the towns, the village of Champlain, they end up voting in Ross's Point, if I'm correct. I got a notice from the real property office. For the Cold War Veterans Exemption. And I have to schedule a public hearing on that for next month. I got 3 public hearings next month, and I will bring that up when I schedule the public hearings. And we also got something from PERMA, which is our insurance carrier, for educational conference down in Schenectady, I believe it is. Okay, I will entertain anybody from the audience who wishes to speak, and I'll come back to my regular agenda afterwards. Thank you. Is Is there somebody, I'm assuming there's somebody in the audience that would like to address the board?
I'll speak. My name is Dustin Beauregard. I'm here on behalf of North Country Golf Club. And most of the people that you see in here, I assume are here in support of North Country Golf Club. As most of you know, in just over a year, we're going to be due to get a new lease agreement in place. And what we're looking at right now is to try to do something different than we've done in the past. Just a little background. We're in the middle of a huge fundraising effort that has been hugely successful thus far due to our members and people who enjoy playing at North Country Golf Club. We have done a number of things to help the club be solvent through this difficult summer. And due to the support of the members, like I said, we're making it. And but looking forward, we're looking to do something different with our lease agreement. And we have something that's been prepared to read to you by Vice President Barton Lubin. He is not able to attend right now, but this is what we're thinking, and we'd like you to entertain it. We feel like we heard that you all had a copy of a proposal by Mr. Van Lubin that he gave to most of you, I believe, or all of you. And Jessica would like to read something.
Okay. The North Country Golf Course is requesting that the Champlain Town Board enter into a management services agreement regarding the property that the golf course currently leases from the town. In doing so, the golf club agrees to continue providing a recreational facility for town residents to use. This agreement would mirror the current lease and expire on the same date as the lease, which is 12/31/2018. Having this agreement in place will allow the golf club to concentrate its efforts on the current fundraising campaign, as Dustin said, which has been largely successful. It will also allow both parties to begin negotiating a new lease to ensure that the continued operation of the golf course in its current form can and will continue for many years. In continuing in its current form, the golf club will continue to be a venue for all civic and charitable organizations that hold fundraising tournaments. The organizations in the past 17 to 20 years have raised in excess of $1 million for their causes.
Anyone else?
I'm Valerie Glode. I grew up in Champlain. My married name is Jodwin, but I've been a member. My father was a member, Alfred, at the golf course. My brother and I are members, even though we don't currently live in the town of Champlain. I served on the board for 4 years. We have made all the cuts that we can possibly make. We've leased out the restaurant. We've narrowed down everything. I mean, I believe we've worked to make the operation as successful it can be, but I really feel that the town also should, in this case, you know, make an effort too to keep our facility going and do what they can to help us continue to be successful and to be available to the town, to its residents.
Yes.
Mr. Barcombe and Mr. Cooper, you're both running for town supervisor.
Yes.
Will you make public what your plans could be for the North Country Golf Course so that the town residents and members of the North Country Golf Course could at least have a feel for who they're going to be voting for and what support that the town might be giving us? You don't have to answer here.
No,
It'd be nice if you could.
I understand the question. Okay? I'll address it. You want to address it, John, also? Or?
The only thing is that we've requested some information from Norm to get some facts and figures as to what kind of condition the golf course is actually in. We asked for all kinds of information. We haven't received anything yet. It's very hard to make a decision what we can do if our lawyer, who has to look at all this, hasn't received any information yet.
Okay, I've got a lot of information on the financial state of the golf course, and a little disappointed that some of the town people here have never, or board, have never really come up and checked with us or really understood what we do for the public, for the area. One mention was made of the amount that people have received from their benefit holding tournaments, over $1 million. we also have, the only reason we are still here is because we have so many people who have given their time, money, work, year after year. Since 2008, we have been in deep trouble, and I notified the board before, we are in deep trouble. And if we didn't have this big fundraiser here, by April, I don't think we'd be open. Now, Mr. Hurdick was at my house. He came and saw me the last week. We sat together for 2 hours, and I explained a lot of the things we do. For example, the high school golf team. They use our course, our country golf course, for their matches. They are not charged anything. The visitors are not charged anything. The school doesn't have to pay for referees, umpires. They don't have to build a field or mow the lawns or put the lines down. It's always been a service, and some people are saying, well, why don't you start charging the school for doing all these things? And we have to close our nines on that afternoon on both sides, because they play against the other team, and then the coaches and the other players who are not on the starters, they play. And that's just one of the services. So I think we got a little time, so we need to sit down and go over all of the things we do. Now, I know you own the land, and you usually pay rent for owning the land. Also, we spent probably about $150,000 or so a year, correct? Mowing the land, keeping it clean, planting trees, tiling, fixing the ditches, and all the workforce that we need to do all that work, and the machinery and equipment. So I think we really need to get together and readjust our old agreements. For the first 40 years or so, it was $1. And then one year somebody said, oh, you have to pay money. So the first 5 years we paid $5,000. The next 5 years we paid $10,000. The next 5 years we paid $12,000. And we're providing all the services here for the community and for each other. We're a non-profit. No one's ever made a dollar. Says, okay, we had a great year. Here's some money. You've been the president. You did a great job. We'll give you $10,000. That's never happened. We're non-profit. So we have kept this thing open by, you go around. There are some people here, there are 20 people here that if they weren't there, the place probably would be going down. And I don't see where that would be benefiting anyone. So, again, I think we've got time. But we do have to sit together, and I'd like to go over the statement or whatever you would want, but show you some of the things we've done. There's so many things we haven't talked about that could go on for a long time. But that's for another time. That's our concern, and that's why I just said that you want to come to the meeting, just so that we are showing that it's not one person or two. All of us really enjoy golfing, and it is not, we don't have a whole lot of things in our town of Champlain anymore. We lost our bowling alley. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of things we can be proud of. We are proud of our golf course. And we want to keep it going, and it's a struggle. Imagine trying, I asked for $100,000. Donations, not we'll pay you back next year or the year after. You just said we'll have to do that. It's a small community. And so far, the fundraiser is going very well. Businesses have helped us. Former members, now they're retired in Florida, are going to help us. But it's a struggle, and it's been a real struggle. A lot of hours and a lot of time spent on trying, what can we do to make this go? And we just need some help. And that's one of the things that would help. We definitely don't need to pay that much rent. Services we provide and what we do.
Thank you, Mayor. From my recollection, I've been town supervisor for 12 years, and I believe your contract was $15,000 12 years ago, 19 years. And it was reduced to 12, and then down to 10, minus the taxes you pay on that property, town taxes. Okay. So in good faith, we have tried to help in the past. Okay.
It's true.
Understand the dynamics of golf course, not just here, all over the country. Okay. Well, we talked about briefly, just this afternoon, we'd like to set up a committee, a couple of town board members, maybe 2 or 3 of your board members, to sit down and talk. If that's agreeable, I don't know what your thoughts are. We do need to see some type of audit of your books.
Well, look, Matt had some questions.
Well, I would just want for the town's sake to look at 3 years' worth of tax returns and financial statements.
Not a problem.
And this is, I can offer too that I don't think the town should be paying its attorney fees to work on this, so I will offer this to the board, the town board and the golf course, to not charge anybody for my work on this project till we come to a resolution as a way to try to help everybody involved, which I'm more than willing to do. I do take your comments that this is an important thing for the community, something to be proud of. I think that there's a lot to be said for that, especially these days in the North Country where we're losing those things. I think in my conversations with the board is willing to do what it can within the bounds of the law. And because obviously we're a municipality, we're not as free to do some things that we may want to do. So my job really is to make sure that the town board and the town doesn't step over the line by doing anything, and that the town is protected. But there's probably ways that we can be creative and try to certainly throw around ideas. So I think this committee of board members from the town and the golf course is a very good way to start that dialogue and throw out some ideas. I made some notes on the shared services agreement tonight of things I would want to look into and propose both ways, but I certainly think with some legwork, we can at least look into things and see what's possible. You did mention that last person that talked, I forgot your name, I apologize. You said you're a non-for-profit. Is the golf course registered as that, like with a non-for-profit status, or you just say we don't turn a profit?
No, non-for-profit. That's
Not-for-profit.
501.
Okay, all right, well, that's good to know. All right.
The forensic audit that Larry mentioned is actually really important. Whether it's 3 years or whatever, that's due diligence, that's smart for a going forward basis. We need that anyway. You can't afford not to do that.
Right.
Right, run business, would be doing that in their own businesses. So I think that's critical.
There's not a board member here that doesn't value the golf course in this community, I'll tell you that right now. We know the value of the golf course. We need to know what we can do legally. And I think an audit would shed some light from both of us, maybe. And I applaud you guys for having a fundraiser, and I understand it's very successful. You probably can't do that every year either, you're gonna have some shot deals, so to speak.
We have done it quite a few times already, not to this degree, we weren't in this bed, but if we hadn't done those previous ones, some people are getting pretty tired because we keep having to do these just to stay alive.
We understand, yes.
A couple words from an outsider. I don't think we're utilizing or realizing what an asset this golf course is for this area. I first came up here as a junior in high school in 1947. I'd never heard of this place. Where'd I stay overnight with 3 friends? The Anchorage. We came up those islands, I said, wow, what a beautiful place this is. It's still a beautiful place, but you're losing some of the things that we could have. One is the asset that golf course is. All golfers like to travel. Here you are with that beautiful golf course. 10 minutes to the east is another golf course. 10 minutes to the north, they can play in another country. Advertise this in the Boston Globe or in some papers. Do you have place to put these people up? Tourism is the one thing that can get you out of where you are. Since 47, you've gone downhill a long way. But when I got out of college and had a chance to go to Plattsburgh and teach, I looked and said, it's near Rouse's Point. I'm going there, and I've been there ever since. But save your golf course.
This isn't unique though in North Country, it's happening across the country. And so it's important that we get on sound footing because other courses around the country are facing the exact same issue. But it is enhanced here because of the exchange on the dollar. But we've got Montreal, to your point, sitting right across the border then as well. But this is not unique to North Country.
Can I, approximately how many members do you have now? Just approximately.
250.
250?
Yep.
How many would be local township residents, just roughly?
175.
Oh, I feel.
Yep.
Good percentage of the total. Okay. Thank you.
I think one of the questions that on behalf of the board of directors that I was trying to look for some information for was there's a couple of instances in New York State where it's kind of a similar situation where a government or a town leases a property or, recreation or whatever, and they do it for less than the market value. And I think that we're just wondering if that's, a category that we could fit in as well. And we're asking, in line with what you're saying, to get together to try to find out what we can do to the maximum.
Is the president of the club here tonight?
No, unfortunately not, he's out of
Who
town.
can appoint a committee, or are you willing to appoint a committee?
Absolutely, there's no question about it. Open lines of communication is something that we've always wanted.
If somebody from the course could just email Larry or the board by the end of this week with 3 names, you guys talk whoever you want to have on that committee. The board here can do the same thing, and I'm happy to be part of it when my schedule permits, so we can set up the first meeting and just start throwing around some ideas.
Great.
Thank you.
It sounds like you're very open, Matt Ware, lifetime resident. I just want to add, I'm here, I'm not a member, haven't been a member for 20 plus years, but I'm just here to express how important it is, I think, as has already been said, to the area. It's an economic development tool. It helps people sell homes. It borders the Pfizer property. I think we could go on and on and on. It helps the kids. Tom's a neighbor of mine. He's not a member either. We both hold tournaments at that course that both raise money for good charitable causes. So we just, hopefully, as you enter into those discussions, and it sounds like you're very open, which is very,
I have a list of tournaments, money you raise, we know that, okay.
One thing that's going to be important from a municipality point of view is if there's going to be any sort of an arrangement or agreement or a new one, is going to be to make certain aspects of the property available to tax-paying town residents. And that's where we're going to have to get a little bit creative, because not every town resident is going to want to come golf, understand. Are there other things we can do, like a Caddyshack sort of day, where the course is closed for a couple hours, but you turn some sprinklers on and kids can come run through sprinklers, and little kids families can utilize the course and the property in a different way than just coming out to golf, therefore making it available to more people. In the winter, use it for sledding, cross-country skiing trails. Those sorts of ideas are things where that's the creativity I'm talking about that we're gonna need, so that the property is open to town residents as a whole. It's more of a recreation tool than just a golf course.
Just for your information, we already are open to cross-country skiers. Free of charge, joggers, people who walk their dogs, and ride their bicycles on our path. Those are always open, and no one has ever been shut down.
it connects to
They're
the
welcome.
new bike trail very easily. So for cross-country skiing, it would be ideal.
Plus, we gave the rights to the property that we own for that bike path as well.
So maybe we come up with things like town of Champlain Winter Carnival Day that we have there with chocolate s'mores, bonfires, that kind of stuff, just as a way to get more residents coming there to see what it is, especially with younger kids. I mean, there's a lot of younger people here tonight, and that's great. The more you get younger generations involved, the more families, and I think taxpayers and everybody will want to support any kind of arrangement that's in place. So, as we get ready to have this meeting coming up, just kick around those sorts of ideas. That's going to help.
I do want to add that everyone on the board wants to work with the golf course because it's an asset. It'd be ridiculous to close it. It'd be ridiculous. You have an asset, you don't want to close it. I mean, it's one of the few attractions that we have. I agree with the comments. What it comes down to is the devil's in the details, and I think working, with the town, I think we can figure this out, and Matt has graciously, offered his services, because he's the key, from my point of view, for the town, because we have to do whatever is legal, and he's offering to make sure that whatever we do fits in with your plan and our plan. So, this isn't a dead issue or anything. I think we just need to get together and work on it.
Is there a model that we can recreate. I mean, otherwise, we're doing a lot of the work ourselves, and I'm certain that other towns, other golf courses have entered into this before in a collaborative fashion. Is there something else that's best practices that are out there that other councils are aware of, or from a golf course perspective, other courses are doing that we can recreate?
There are some courses in St. Lawrence County and actually marinas that have almost the same situation. And I guess the situation is there, like, if there's you have a property, the town has a property that is worth more than $15,000, and you charge less rent than the going market rate, then the only law is that you need to report that to the government, to the governor or legislature. There, Messina Country Club and Hidden Oaks Country Club in Waddington are two courses that I know have a very similar situation where they pay very minimal rent. One is $200 a year and one is $2,000 a year. Messina market value is $1.8 million and they're only paying $2,000 a year. And Hidden Oaks and Waddington only pays $1 a year. And these towns saw the good in the community, and that was their reasoning for helping these golf clubs out. And I think that, you know, doing much more research together, we could probably come up with many more similar situations.
I'd just like to add just something to what everybody said. Thank you for listening to us. I'm a coach of the high school team, and I also have been involved with coordinating the golf program in town for 20 years now. So every year for 20 years, I have, you know, dozens of kids. I mean, over the years, hundreds of kids that have been right from this town that go there for lessons, and the golf course doesn't charge anything ever. It's everything's free, the range balls, everything. And then the golf team, we actually have one of the biggest teams at the whole school. We have 20 to 25 kids every year. So we're one of the biggest programs at our school. And again, the golf course basically asks nothing of us. They accept us with open arms. And the kids do usually get a junior membership, which is penny. It's like $120 or $115 for, but that's really to cover them playing the summer. And I know you, like you said, you already know how invaluable it is, but I lived it myself. I grew up here. I've lived here my whole life, and I went through that program as a kid. And now, like I said, for 20 years, it's town people that are, you know, young children that are benefiting so much from this. And the golf course really doesn't ask much at all from the residents. It's come and play here, and especially when they're young. And that's the only, I don't know anything about the financials or anything like that, but as just somebody who relies on that golf course, and it's been important to me and to these hundreds of kids I've dealt with, you know, if there is something we can do together, it would be crucial for me and my family and all the kids I coach.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Alan, right? To address your question early on in the meeting, I think the whole board is here to support the golf course, what we can do and do it legally. I believe John feels the same way as I do, because we're both up for election. I don't feel the election has anything to do with our decision on this golf course. I would make the same decision next year or last year, when I wasn't up for a re-election, okay? We know the value of a golf course to this town and to the North Country. We also realize that you lost many, many leagues when Wyeth moved on. And tons of other businesses were affected as well. And what can I say other than that? We, the town board, I think I can speak for everybody, we know the value of the golf course. We do not want to see that golf course close up, shut down, go out of business, okay?
Well, one more thing, Mr. Barcombe, is that this is not, and you're well aware, this is not the first time we have been here to the board asking for help. But today, this is real. This is no more joke. It's just that it's important that somehow we cooperate and we get something done so that we can continue to success. And I think that's what we're here for. And I think that's the point I was trying to get across.
Yeah,
you know,
this is it.
So.
In good faith, when you came to us before, more than once,
Oh, yes.
we tried to help you.
Yeah, but it wasn't always enough. and we struggled, we had fundraisers, we did whatever we could, but now, today, this is drop dead.
It's crunch time, I guess you might.
Yeah, it is.
It's not,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's not a joke anymore, but it's real.
I can believe that, I think I got your word for that. Yeah, I have no problem with that statement. I don't know who you want to get to appoint your committee. I would say a couple of our board members. I will not be on that committee. I would say no more than 3 of us. I'm just throwing that figure out. I guess if you wanted more, that'd be up to you, but I think too large of a committee is not good either, okay? So, I don't know, Steve, you want to be on it? Definitely. Steve, Clark, shaking his head, yes, that's why I asked. You certainly can use this boardroom anytime. It's open, just let us know when you need it. I would ask your committee to get a hold of Steve or Clark, set up a meeting as soon as possible. You may need more than one meeting, you may need several meetings, I don't know. We certainly would like to look at the books. We're not questioning that what you're telling us is real, but we need to come up with a conclusion. Yes, Clark?
To give you an example of an idea that suggested earlier by Matt, suggesting more things that could be done there to bring in more people. I was very impressed with the article I saw in the paper recently talking about some new teas,
Yes.
the junior teas.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, but then I found out that really why you put those there was so that John Zerlo could get a little closer to the
It didn't work.
He didn't even mention my name. Clark, you are absolutely correct. I've never enjoyed golf more since those orange teas have been put in place.
You don't have to have the ladies' teas anymore now,
But
right?
let me just say quickly, and I did have a long chat with Mr. Supervisor this afternoon. Over the years, we've lost 3,000 jobs in the northern tier. Think about it. You think I'm nuts? 900 at Sheridan, 1,800 at Wyeth. We lost a nursing home. We lost Anchor Freight. We lost a bowling alley. Keep adding them up and there's even more. We lost 3,000 jobs. What is that gonna do to recreation? First thing you cut out of your budget is recreation. That's why the bowling alley went down the tubes. People can't afford to bowl because there was no people to bowl. And the price had to be higher, they couldn't afford to bowl. We don't want to see that happen to the golf course. Question came up, want to see the books? Fine, let's see the books. Let me tell you, that golf course is run bare bones budget. Instead of having 8 guys out in the fairways mowing, there's 3.5 now. I've heard terrible rumors. You give golf away, you give drinks away. We don't even run the snack bar or the restaurant anymore, we lease it out. Yeah, there's tickets that are given away. If a member buys 10 tickets for $30, that's $300, he gets 2 free. That's free golf. We had 176 Canadian members. We have 6 left. That puts us in a hole $75,000. Hey, what's happening to the golf course? Say it's not well run. Believe me, gentlemen and lady, it's well run. But we've been hit with an economic disaster, both with our membership because of the Canadian members. We're trying to get them back. We have a lot of things in place. We're going to accept Canadian money at par for all residents of Quebec. Our membership agreed to that. Board of directors didn't want to do it for years because they felt the American members would be hurt by it and be upset by it. But they voted unanimously at the annual meeting to accept Canadian money at par if you're a Canadian resident for memberships. We're trying to get those back. They've already been written letters to, all of those Canadian members have been written letters to come back. We'll take their money at par.
Great idea.
There are other things that are involved. Norman can tell you that. We've got a lot of things in place to raise money, different things, and we need help from the town. The town would understand that we're in trouble and you're part of it. You own the golf course and we're paying you for it. don't make sense in my mind at all. But if you want to show recreation that we all talked about tonight, and we're doing it, come up to the golf course and look it over. You won't believe what you'll see there. It is the most beautiful piece of property in the northern tier. It's well kept. It is not a blade of grass out of place. Underneath every tree, the ladies have volunteered their time and put beautiful flowers there. Every tee box has flowers. It's beautiful. Our greens are probably one of the best in the state, not northern New York. Malone, you hear about Malone, all their holes. They hired our guy to shape their course up because our course is so good. So that's where we're at. We're just asking for help. Do what you can on this agreement. We are offering service. Matt said, hey, I go there in cross-country skiing myself. Can't do much of that much anymore either, but I am. There's the walkway, there's people are walking through there all the time. I mean, they're all there for nothing. The golf course never even questions any of this. So anyway, whatever this committee can do would be super. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Larry, we just have a young gentleman who'd like to
Yes.
speak before any of these other guys max him down.
First off, I would like to thank the members of the board for listening to me, myself, and others for speaking this evening about what North Country Golf Club means to me personally. As a member of Northeastern Clinton's golf team, the golf course is where we practice and is our home course. There are over 20 students on the team from season to season, and we are actually hosting the sectionals this year, and all the schools will be coming. Losing the golf course could result in the loss of our school's golf team. As a member of the golf club, I've had the privilege of meeting many great people. Just knowing I would see friendly, familiar faces there made me want to play more golf. So much that I practically lived there last summer. Not only does the golf course serve as a place to play the great game of golf, it also serves as a place for members of our community to hang out and stay connected. If the golf course were to close, it would be a huge loss for me and the members of this community. I won't take up much more of your time, but it's true, I love golf. It's my favorite sport, so I might be a little bit partial. But I came to love golf because of North Country Golf Club. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want anybody leaving here tonight thinking we're not sympathetic to your cause. I hope you didn't get that feeling.
Yeah.
Does anybody else wish to address the board? I don't want to shut this down if somebody wants to address the board.
I'll just add that I think that all of us in here are sincerely appreciative of the open invitation that we have to work together and to try to make this work. And I think that, speaking on behalf of the club, that I think that it's a step in the right direction and that we're looking forward to working together to get it done.
In the future, you don't have to wait for a board meeting to come and visit us. Okay?
The invitation goes to you.
Well,
Come and see us. Come and see us.
We never got to this point before. We're that close.
You serve lunch every day. Open door policies. Somebody wants to stop in and talk to me, that's fine. No problem. Some days I appreciate company. Anyone else? You, Alan, or whoever is going to get back to us, the committee, or
I'll text you back to you by the end.
Dustin.
you get a hold of Steve?
Yep.
I really appreciate the turnout. I think this is great. It's nothing better than having a bunch of people show up when you support something. It shows a lot, it really does.
Thank you.
You're certainly welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listening.
Okay. I think it was a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion?
We need to approve 3 public hearings. Okay, we need to schedule a public hearing for November meeting for a local law to exceed the tax cap. If we need to, we're not sure we need to. But
In preparation for the possibility.
for a possibility.
That's what it is.
Now, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Would it be proper to schedule that for 7:15? Or you wanna do it, at our next board meeting?
Yeah, I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
That meets the time frame.
7:15, I could probably get some of the general stuff done before that.
No, but I mean, that meets the time frame requirements to have the resolution passed.
Yep.
Yes, okay.
That's all I ask. 7:15, public
Do
hearing.
I have a motion for that, did I?
Nope,
I so move.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I need to schedule a local law to present the budget and pass the budget at that same meeting. It has to be done before November 15th, and our meeting's on the 14th. So we have to have a public hearing to present the budget. I'd like to schedule that for 7:30. Would that be okay?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. This is the budget. How about 7:45 for public hearing for the veterans exemption? We gotta do that, it was, I believe, last time it was for 10 years, and we gotta renew that. This is for the Cold War veterans, okay? It's something we've done in the past, I would hope that we continue to do. But we need to schedule a public hearing for that.
No, that's just to renew it.
Pardon?
That's just to renew it.
Yeah. Well, if there's any objection, the public has the right to.
Right, but I mean, the hearing is just to renew what's already in place.
The Cold War or the Korean War?
It says Cold War.
Cold War.
It's a new one, isn't it?
What were the years for that?
Pardon?
What were the years for the Cold War?
I saw his ears perk up.
No, I've never heard it, I was just curious.
Yeah, there's an alternative veteran
Yeah,
to
it's
Cold War.
Yeah.
You would be familiar with that, probably, with the real property office? It's called the Cold War veteran.
Cold War veterans
Really?
exemption, and it has a 10-year span, it has to get re-approved every year, or every 10 years, excuse me.
So we will be passing it except for everyone and you. You're the only one who.
Didn't realize that was a Cold War veteran.
So I'll
Right,
probably,
are you a veteran?
Yeah.
Well, you should go to the veterans office and check into your exempt, you may be eligible.
Well, I get some.
no, wait a minute, when were you in, Mickey? You were in during the Vietnam War, weren't you?
Yeah.
Well, you for sure can get an exemption. You get yourself right down to the veterans office.
Okay?
There are two things tonight.
So I need a motion to approve the 7:45 public hearing for the veterans exemption.
I will make that motion.
Thank
I
you.
will second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. We've got 3 local laws next, public hearings, I should say, the next board meeting. Just a couple things for information. Jane left on my table here tonight. A letter from the Association of Town, our dues will be $999 next year that belong to the Association of Town. That's something we've always budgeted for.
That is an invaluable service.
Pardon?
That's an invaluable service.
No doubt about it. You may not use them often, but when you need them, they're there. And they know education, town law. That's what they're. I'm getting my mixed up here because we do have a association for school boards.
I mean, for what you'd pay me to research certain random topics on an hourly rate versus a 2-minute phone call with them to tell me where I need to look, you save it probably a month. That's how valuable they are from that point of view.
So that's part of the budget process.
Go to New York to support them.
Pardon?
You should go to New York to support them.
Oh, yeah.
You know how much it costs us to go to New York? Why don't they have it somewhere else? Association of Towns.
I don't make the
New York
rules.
is so fun.
They had a big meeting today.
Good East.
No, it's not, so, well, that's the annual.
Well, anyways,
Their government.
Everything else, everything is in. Yeah. So how was that today? Last night?
Good.
And Larry, just so I don't forget, so Tuesday, October 24th at 4 PM is
that's budget workshop.
next budget workshop.
Did you have a place for
I did the one for tonight. I didn't do
Will you do the next one?
What is it?
24th, 2 weeks from tonight.
At
4
4.
o'clock. Okay.
And it's the only other one we scheduled before the public hearing.
Yes. Well, we're kind of hoping to wrap things up. James is working very hard. It's not going to be an easy budget year, nor has any of them been easy. Okay, they're never easy. Guess I mentioned that, I don't need to go up again. Okay. Alan, what do you got for highway?
I'm getting ready to pave the Hayford Road. We're talking about paving it this coming Thursday. It's not to be first part of next week. And we start putting salt and sand in that new salt shed. We've got approximately 120 loads they told me tonight. So that's working out pretty good.
Did the salt arrive now?
Yeah, I got 2 loads last Friday, and I'm getting it in now. Bringing in 2 loads today.
Okay.
And thanks very much for your help with the water project. I think with your town crew has really helped start some of the
Get that road paved.
And the little things, is, you know, the dirt, Harry's Mills Red Park, and with this.
Larry, I got something I'd like to bring up.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to either contact Nat or Tom Renee, whichever one would have something to do with this here. I want to change the code book in relation to the solar power boards that are going to put in. Not the ones for the farms and things, just for the commercial. And I'd like to have either Matt research this for me or Tom Renee.
Tom Renee is a zoning.
So I'll check with you. Matt seems to think that's his business. Either one, but we'd like to change the code so they have a memorandum on that thing not to charge you anything because they were actually designed just for farm, excuse me. But now we're working on commercial use. And I feel the town's gained some revenue out of this. And I'd like to change the code.
Are you talking about the tax exemption?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted, because not everybody may be aware of it.
But the ag exemption was designed for farms. This is a commercial endeavor.
I know how to go over Tom's head. Tom Renee's.
No, but,
I believe he's, you correct me if I'm right or wrong.
It would make, I would think, more sense to go to him, but I know we're working on a similar thing right now with the town of Plattsburgh, so we'll be exposed to it pretty soon anyway. So it's just sort of interesting, there's a current exemption so that agricultural solar use is exempt from
taxation.
Household.
No. Can I weigh in on this?
Yes.
I read that and I went over it with Tim. And this law was passed in 1991. It was passed by the county and the state. The town at that time had the option to opt out of it for all these commercial solar farms at the time. And some ag waste, not solar generation, but generation plants. The town at that time did not opt out of it, but they can at any time. Certain towns did opt out of it. Shazy, I think the town of Plattsburgh may have too. I know Tim had the list of it. But we have solar companies, commercial solar companies that are looking for large tracts of land in this area that want to come in when the government makes the exemptions worthwhile, these things are going to happen. Right now, we get absolutely nothing except a building permit fee for many of these commercial solar farms that come in.
They're exempt from property taxes.
Exactly, for 15 years. So this law can be reversed where they would be on the tax rolls and the town would benefit. I mean, I personally am not in favor of giving everything away all the time.
You know, the town is going to
These
lose all
solar
the
farms
farms
are-
and everything. Anything we can pick up, no matter how small.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense to do that.
Well, I think, would you feel comfortable researching that for us?
Sure. I can at least reach out to Tom and see if he's done, if he has, we'll use what he's done, if not.
Okay, listen, if that's the case, I'd like to make a motion that we ask Matt to look into the solar farm exemption to see if we can amend the law so we can actually gain a little bit on this.
Is it possible the only reason they're looking at us is because of that? And that they would just go someplace else?
They go everywhere and they try to go over our head. They went to the county to get an exemption for everything. Right now, they haven't done anything. They're at the point where they have to reapply through the zoning process because it's going on 2 years. And I don't even have a building permit from them. But I've had inquiries from other companies that are interested, so.
Okay.
You know, I kind of think this is, time is of the essence on this. You know, we need to get this done because I think there's a 90-day waiting period.
So you're referencing the one that was supposed to go in across from the school?
Yes.
And that's like dead, not doing anything, or?
I haven't heard from them, and I don't want to call them.
Right.
I mean, it's not my job to tell them, hey, your exemption is going to run out here, you know.
It's not just that, they tell you one thing and a month later
Yeah.
it changes.
I mean, supposedly they can't build because they're waiting for some bird to migrate north or south, who the hell knows. Then the spotted turtle will come in.
I did hear that one too. We're waiting for the bats on the other road.
Yeah.
We need to get a law
Sure.
in place,
Get Tom a
that
quick
that
call.
moratorium.
Yeah, I'll look at,
Long.
no, it's
So-
one way or the other, we'll get the answers.
We have a temporary moratorium on new construction. for
Get you
solar
a copy
farms.
of the law.
But we need to make a permanent law, one way or the other.
That temporary is no longer.
So there's,
We have no moratorium right now.
so you have no law governing,
No.
well, that's worse yet.
But I think if we could help the town out, maybe if we just get a percent, I mean, something.
Well, yes, but we have to write it.
I don't know, we'll have him research it, but he'll find somewhere somebody's already get it
So
written.
what's happening is the town has no zoning concerning siting of solar farms.
Gotcha.
Anybody can put it anywhere. We had a moratorium,
Maybe,
it expired.
Somebody from the board here could visit with the next zoning meeting. Tom should be here.
I'd be more than happy
He's
to.
not, he's not always here at the meetings, but sometimes he is.
I'd be more than happy if it's
Okay, well, I'll check with Mickey on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to be on board.
When is the next zoning meeting?
Next Thursday.
19?
I
Yeah,
think it's
5:30.
5:30.
The thing is, I would like to get the ball rolling, because if there's something we can do, we can, but it's certainly be interesting looking into.
Alright, highlight some of it.
That's a lot of words.
So it's Thursday the 19th at 6, really?
5:30.
5:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
I need a
I just
motion.
encouraged, Brian said he would sit in the next zoning meeting. Tom, not really here?
Yeah.
He wasn't at the last planning board meeting after, though.
Well, they usually ask him, but anything that's controversial, or they, they can't answer, they usually ask him.
Yeah, Mickey's forgot about it. We haven't had one for months.
Okay. Should they ask him to be here then?
The only application we have is the marina, I think. He'll probably be here for that,
I mean, we
unless
could
he
just
has a
make,
conflict.
yeah, we could just make a, you could just ask him,
Okay.
if you feel it's necessary to have him here.
Okay. John made a motion. Matt, or.
Okay.
We need
I
a
have a problem with
second.
that. We need a motion.
I'll second the motion.
That's not a problem.
Is that a motion?
All in favor?
All in favor? We gotta start somewhere, and this is the time to start.
Opposed?
Okay, I'll reach out to Tom, and then I'll let the board know which one of us is gonna be handling this, so you can direct questions that way. If he's gonna be doing it, I'll just give him a copy of this, and I'll kind of make him aware that it'll probably come up at the board meeting next week, and hopefully get that on his agenda. If
It's
it's
good,
good.
if he wants to do it, it's fine, but as long as somebody does it.
Yep. No problem, I'll let you guys know which one of us is gonna handle it.
Okay, appreciate that.
Okay, Julie, what do you got for us?
Well, we have the salt shed payment application. Eagles Associate Building for $23,164.52. Eagles Associate for the roof for $112,809.34. And Vernier Car for $2,372.10. But the Eagle Associate amounts, they have to, you guys have to adopt a conditional resolution on that.
Right. Basically based on the state accepting their MBWE certification. which they
Burning your
haven't
car is supposed to
accepted.
get that stuff all lined up before these guys bid these. That's another burning your car screw up.
They should not have even gone out to bid without that ahead of time.
Right, exactly what I said. Those guys, I have no idea what's happening in that outfit, but lately they are terrible.
Well, he doesn't know they're not on the list. They're questioning whether
Well, New York State was questioned.
Yes,
That's who has to certify it.
that's what got the check for. Their
Yeah,
question.
so-
I understand. Okay,
Was that part of the original bid requirement? Is that what it was?
yes.
We use money from the band to pay that.
Yeah, the band's in place though.
Right, but
What, we're supposed to get
we have
reimbursed?
nobody to blame but ourselves for allowing that payment to go through on our end without them having the proper
But
MWP
the engineer
certification.
certified that
No,
they
the
met
first one,
requirements.
the first one, the one we already paid.
Yeah, the engineers are the ones that go through the line item on the bill. They
approve it.
certify, they approve it before it gets to us.
This one they have not approved. Okay, either way, it's got to be
No,
worked out.
it's
Well,
very concerning.
do you think we should vote on this and just pay up, or just hold off till we get it?
No,
Have a
that one's
special meeting?
protected, because it's got a restriction on it that it will not be paid until they approve that that's certification is conditional. Right.
Okay. I need a motion to approve, as Julie read them, it's a condition of those two of them, right? Two out of three. The credit card one, there's not an objection on that one. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you. Any questions? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Aye, myself.
Then we have water district number 6, disbursement approval number 39. Luck Brothers, $113,843.79. LH LaPlante, $28,794.50. And Bernier Card, $19,688.94.
Yeah.
I'll go get you some water.
Thank you.
Need a cough drop?
You got it?
I got 100 of them.
How much was Bernier Car's bill?
$19,688.94.
Salt
I
shed.
thought I heard 98,000. What the hell did they do for that?
Don't ask, we're not up there yet.
Does anybody know how close we are to filling the tanks?
Okay, so I guess you guys have to sign this.
Well, no, sir.
This week, next week.
Was that one?
Yes,
I had a motion second.
no, not yet.
I need a motion in a second to approve that bill that Julie just read off.
That's for the water plant project.
Condition,
How much the project money?
and MDWE
They're
accepted
having
by
a
the
meeting
state.
tomorrow to.
That's the other one we already did.
Yeah.
We already did that one. This is-
Yeah.
This one was already
Yeah.
done, that was the second one.
Just hold on. So we don't
Well, you gotta
have to
sign that.
That
I
district.
think you can
sign it.
Yes, sign it, just in case.
Don't sign it, you don't see
Sign it. But we did get a motion on the water district, no.
Okay, I need a motion to approve bill that Clark got his hand. Thank you,
Which
Brian.
one? Number 39. I'll make a motion to approve water district disbursement approval, number 39.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any questions? Roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
For myself, thank you. So what else you have, Julie?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. You've got your post audit bills, you need to approve the bills of the evening. Anybody want to take a minute and go over bills? Okay, I need a motion to approve the bills as presented to us.
Everybody look at the bills?
I have this. Last, passed around, next something.
I'll make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions on the monthly bills?
Yeah, wouldn't we get repaired on a pickup for almost $5,000?
That one-ton truck.
Really?
It's
brand new?
2011, that bad brakes on it. We went through, put all new brakes, come to find out it was 2 bearings. One front, one back, wheel bearings, shuts. Then I had to put new tires on it, they didn't pass inspection. More or less, I went right through it.
Approximately how many miles on that truck?
Around 40, 38.
Tires are shot at that.
Yeah, 38,000, I think that done.
What do you normally get on the big trucks, mileage-wise, on tires?
Well, it all depends, big trucks are different, I mean, we use them on the ledge and stuff, you know, they get pounded. You put up 20, 25,000 big trucks, some of them.
Remember, that $6,000 to change tires on a big
Yeah.
truck.
Well, they were well loaded all the time, all winter long, they take a beating.
Let me ask you something.
Guess I won't
Why
be
do you
looking for a
think
2011
the
Ford
golf
pickup?
course is resisting so much about giving us any financial information?
The one that you got.
No.
Oh, the little dump.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
That ain't there.
They
Every
can't,
time we ask them that, it's like jabbing them in the back with a sharp stick.
yeah, I can't figure out why that's a problem, why they think it's a problem.
Clark went over and talked to what's his name, and he said there was no problem. We haven't received anything from him yet, and tonight, he started off that, he got right off that track onto something else, he didn't want to talk about it. What do you think is the problem?
I think he did say that he would come up with any financial records they needed.
Well, he told the Clark would only take a couple hours. That was a week
We
ago.
had all that in here, but I think what we're asking for is a little more in-depth.
Yes, tax returns, which are on paper and they should be on
Oh,
file.
well, they said they were tax exempt tonight.
They still have to have a tax return.
Yeah, I know, but do they have a tax number?
Well, if they do, it will help, it may help any potential agreement we come up with for municipality helping a
that's what I was wondering.
non-profit.
Is that true?
That's why I asked them that follow-up question, is are you really registered as a non-profit? If they are, we get a copy of that, that goes a long way towards.
No, one time they wanted ours, me and Larry talked about, one time they wanted our sales tax, or exemption number to use.
They want to buy equipment.
So if they're tax exempt, why would they want ours?
Well, that could have changed in the interim.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that change.
We vote on this.
There are.
No, we did not. We s-
I have a
Yeah,
motion.
well,
what- what
voted,
was-
but.
I have one more question on the water softener. What was going on with that? $1,500.
Mickey, that.
What's that?
Water softener,
Since we got it.
$1,500.
Do you think it's time to have them look at?
Water softener here?
Yeah.
No, no.
Oh, they have to,
Time have them look at
the
different
tank,
systems, because this is
uh,
ridiculous.
tank's sprung a hole and they have to replace it. But that tank's supposed to be warranted.
Supposed to.
I haven't heard anything.
That tank's only, what, 2 years old? Wasn't even 2 years old.
Barely.
This is part of the fancy system that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the UV light,
Yeah.
there's a big 120 gallon
Big tank
pressure
that's in the
tank.
corner there, sprung a leak.
Fiberglass tank, yeah.
Mickey, is it time to look at a new system?
Here? I don't think so.
You don't think so, with all the money that's been
Oh,
pouring
well,
out?
that ship sailed a long time ago, but we're in it now, it's working now.
Okay, do you think it's gonna continue to work properly?
It should, yeah.
All right. John and I were thinking, I mean, we've seen a lot of money go out to that.
Well, you wanna bring water from the village down here?
No, no.
Cheaper.
Yeah, I would.
Well, actually, it would be cheaper, you're
We'll
right.
probably get a free grant somewhere, you know, probably free engineers.
If we're spending,
We've got too many free engineers now.
but just to bring it up, if you
No,
do
it's-
feel that it's time to look at it, let us know.
Okay, I got a motion to pay the monthly bills, a second. John, roll call vote.
Aye.
Brian?
All right.
Clark?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Does anybody else have anything to report the board before we go into executive session? Okay, if not, I'd like to, motion to go into executive session to discuss a contract.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you, Tracy.
Have a good night.
Thanks for coming.
Now, and I didn't realize the golf course was a not-for-profit either. I thought it was a member-owned entity. There are not-for-profit exemptions that they may be able to also look into, but I have to ask Tim tomorrow when I'm with him.
Do you have a,
I'm in Peru with Tim tomorrow.
pardon?
I'm in Peru with Tim tomorrow.
Yeah, but can you find that out?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, because there are not-for-profit.
Shane, you want one?
You too.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand that to Brian, you'll write that down for me, please. Out of executive, I need a motion to come out of the executive session at 9:08.
I so move.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Out of nine. If there's no other further business, I'd like a motion to adjourn
I so move.
at 9:09.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Those who object, if you object, want to know why. Thank you all.